quick warning, this recipe uses raw eggs, as does a traditional tiramisu. So when you're making this tiramisu, you need to, first of all, wash your hands and make sure that everything is very sanitized that you're using. Because if you're putting raw eggs in something, you could get like food poisoning. So that's the way tiramisu is, though, with raw eggs, and it's delicious. So let's start here. You're going to take like 3 eggs, and we're going to separate them. You crack them on a nice bowl and separate them. Hands are clean. Hands were sanitized and washed, so they're good. So don't freak out. And I put my yolk in one separate bowl here, and I keep my egg whites inside of the mixer bowl. So we're going to put our little whipper snapper thing on here, and we're going to whip those egg whites until they peak. It takes like about a minute or so. Once they have peaked, you can rock your camera back and forth and like just play with your camera while you're like taking time to make this. But there we go. Once this is done, let's take a look here. Ooh, look at those peaks there. That's perfect. It's like whipped cream but made of eggs and like doesn't taste as good. So now we're gonna keep a hold of these egg whites. We're gonna scoop them out of our bowl, and we are going to put these inside of the refrigerator to keep them chilled. There we go. Ooh, see you later. We'll see you later, eggs. We'll see you later. All right, next you're going to need about 1.5 cups of whipped cream, of heavy whipping cream I like. We're going to pour about 1.5 cups in here. I'm using the same bowl because we're doing this really fast. Everything's going to be all chilled, so no bacteria. And we're going to put about 1/2 cup of sugar into the whipped cream. Then we're going to whip that, and same thing, about a minute or two, and you got to watch it closely. I got this really cool camera shot as I walk up to check on it. Look at that. And it whips and whips and whips, and you got to make sure that you don't whip this too much, because if you over whip it, guess what happens to whipped cream? It turns into butter. So we get it just thick enough so it's kind of like the eggs where it's kind of peaking. And we're going to pour this into a separate clean bowl, and we're going to also chill our whipped cream, same as we did with the egg whites. Okay, whipped cream, we will see you later. Now you're going to get about 1 pound of mascarpone. You can get this in Italian like stores. Sometimes you can get it like fancy grocery stores and stuff. But we're going to scoop out all of this. You can substitute cream cheese, but it doesn't work as well. It doesn't taste as smooth and creamy as mascarpone does, which is an Italian cream cheese. And we're going to put the egg yolks in with the mascarpone cheese. And I like to put about a teaspoon and a half of real vanilla in. And I'm going to use the little beater thing here instead of the whipper. I don't know what they're called, but yeah, we're going to turn that on, and we're going to mix those egg yolks really well. Mix that for a couple minutes until it, if you use a whipper, oh, look, here's another cool camera shot coming in, and there you go. And look at that, it's all blended together, getting nice and creamy. All right, now it's time to grab our egg whites and our cream, and we're going to fold it into the, bang, 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 get all that cheese off. You want to preserve the cheese. Banging is very important. It's a very important technique. All right, we're going to put in the egg whites, and we're just going to try to kind of fold those in a bit, get it kind of blended in, because we want to keep these as foamy as possible. We want to keep this as light and fluffy as possible. Bang, bang, more banging. See, banging is an important part of cooking. It's a technique that took me years to learn, but you got to learn how to bang. Put the whipped cream in, bang some more, and fold that whipped cream in. So now we've got the egg whites and the whipped cream in there, and we've folded in. And then you can put the whipper back on and whip it. I know that's a technical term. We're going to whip this until it kind of blends together. And the whipping cream will kind of thicken it up a little bit as well, and we'll keep it nice and foamy. I only do it for about like 30 seconds or so to make sure everything is clean. Just kind of scoop in the sides, make sure it's all kind of blended together so you don't have any stray chunks of cheese. I'm going to get a t-shirt that just says stray chunks of cheese, and then people, bang, 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 bang some more. Once again, don't be jealous if you don't know how to bang your utensils properly. Okay, now we're going to the coffee here. I like to get like a dark French roast. If you want to use espresso works really well, will work as well if you have an espresso machine. But I put like some dark French roast into a French roast pot. You can also just brew it strong. Just brew a pot of coffee that's really strong. So this is probably about like 4 cups of coffee. If you're doing espresso, you're going to have to kind of brew about the same amount of espresso, about like up to almost like 3 or 4 cups worth. And now it's time for the liqueur. Well, this is not a liqueur. This is Prosecco. It's a sweet, like Italian wine that we're going to use. If you can get rum will work a lot better. I didn't have any rum, so I'm using Prosecco, which is a sweet wine. But if you like more of a liqueur taste, I'm putting about 1 cup in. If you're going to use rum, I'd say about 1/2 cup of rum. You can also use marsala or other sweet wines or other sweet liqueurs. I'm going to pour the coffee in with the cup of wine that I have there, the cup of sweet wine, all the coffee. 4 servings of coffee there. And now we've got our ladyfingers. And these are Italian, so I'm kind of playing like I'm Mario Andretti here and acting like I'm driving a car like a real Italian would, since these are authentic Italian cookies. These are very dry egg cookies here. And now we're getting all of our ingredients together here. We've got, and I'm pouring a little bit of cream in here because this kind of got a little too thick. So I'm just pouring some cream just to thin it out a little bit. You don't want it like terribly thick, but you want it still kind of foamy and light. It'll kind of soak into the cookies and set up overnight. And I'm going to pour a little bit into our bowl that's going to be our finalized serving bowl for the tiramisu. Just put a little bit on the bottom here, and we're going to start layering things. Now we're going to grab our coffee. I'm putting everything like on a big tray here so I don't drip coffee all over the place as I'm layering this. I'm going to grab the ladyfinger cookies and I'm going to drop them into the coffee just really quick. Not too long either. They'll start falling apart and you'll get too much in there and it will soak up too much and there'll be a really soggy tiramisu and you don't want that. You just want a quick dip. Just get it completely saturated on the whole cookie and dip it in. And I'd say no more than just like this quick dip. And then you're going to get a full layer and then you're going to pour your cheese filling on top of that, and you kind of pace yourself so you make sure that you got about the right amount of cheese to cookie ratio. Dip in more cookies and do another layer. So this is my second layer of cookies, and I've done 2 layers of cheese so far. And depending on how deep your bowl is, you can just do 2 layers if you want. Do a wider pan, or if you're doing a deeper bowl like I am, you can do. I'm going to do 3 layers of cookies and 4 layers of cheese. Spread it across the cookies. Dip more cookies, 1 more layer of cookies. And pour more cheese on top, the final layer of cheese. Sweet, creamy, fluffy cheese. Bang, bang some more. That cooking technique, it's so awesome. Okay, now I'm going to clean all the cheese kind of around the rim of the bowl here. Keep it all nice and clean. And now we're going to grab some cocoa here. And we're going to put some cocoa. This is raw cocoa, not sweetened. And we're going to put some on top because the cookies are going to be sweet enough and the eggs and the cream mixture is going to be sweet enough as well to make this kind of a lightly sweet dessert. And we're going to put this in like a little... So we're going to put this in this little strainer here and we're going to kind of knock it around and get this chocolate to kind of evenly coat the top. You don't want to put like a terrible amount on it. It's going to be way too powdery. Just kind of put this light coating to completely cover the top of the cheese. Then clean it off. And that's about all there is to it. I'm going to cover this up and I would recommend you put this in the fridge overnight. So if you're going to have this like, if you're planning on this for a party or something like that, I would put it in the fridge overnight. It takes about a day to set up. If you start eating it right away, the cookies are still kind of hard and dry. There you go. 24 hours later, it's already been like half eaten. I didn't know people were eating my tiramisu, so I didn't get to show you the first scoop here, but here's another serving. Scoop it up with just a spoon. Just go ahead and you don't have to cut it nicely. Just scoop it up, and then you get a spoon and you put it in your mouth. Look at that. She loves it. She loves the tiramisu. There you go. That is a recipe. So enjoy. Make sure you keep everything kind of clean and sanitized because once again, you're using raw eggs and you don't want to get salmonella.